This evening, as the sun starts to set and the Sahara sands paint the sky, broker Grant Ninneman and I are setting out for a sea trial of Beneteau's exciting 2020 GT36. What makes this boat different from any Beneteau that we've featured on our channel to date is the fact that she comes equipped with Mercury Verados V8 outboard motors. The demand for boats driven by outboards in the marketplace has been on a significant uptick. Buyers are looking for boats that are cost-effective and easy to run and maintain. Outboard motors meet this criteria with the added advantage of freeing up a lot of extra living space previously taken up by inboard engines. With a Salon, Galley, and 2 staterooms, the GT36 packs quite the punch. Beneteau has taken note of this and has fittingly met this demand with the newly released Gran Turismo 36. What we want to show you today is not just how cool the boat looks or that it's fun in every way, but that she couldn't be easier to fire up and get off the dock.
Hi, I'm Grant Ninneman with Denison Yachting, and today we are on the exciting new Beneteau GT36 Express model with the Mercury Verados 300 horsepower engines. And today my goal is to show you 5 things you need to do to get going on your cruise. Now, assuming you've done your weather checks and you've made sure all your safety equipment is present on board, the first thing to do is to switch from shore power to generator power, and we'll begin that process by turning off the breaker on the dock and then removing the cable from the boat. The black plastic collar is what holds the cord in place. Remove the cord and make sure you firmly screw back on the cover to make sure that this is watertight while underway. The second thing we're going to do is check the generator area and then fire up. To check the generator, we'll make sure the DC power to the generator is on. We'll check the coolant and then we'll check the oil level. After the generator is started, the third step is going to be to switch over to generator power on the ship's panel. Here we have the shore power and generator power supplied to the boat. The first thing to do is trip the shore power, slide over the safety switch, and the boat is now on generator supply. And the same thing for shore number 2. Trip the shore power, slide over the safety switch, switch over to generator power. Step number 4 is going to be to do engine checks on the outboards. The new Mercury Verados 300s have this nice access panel in the cowling where you can not only check your oil level, you can also even add oil. If you'd like to remove the cowling, Mercury has made it really easy by pushing the button, lifting the handle, and there are no tricky little latches on the side. You simply just pull and remove the entire cowling. One thing you need to make sure of once your engines are started and running is that you have cooling water flow, which you can see on the sides of your engines. The fifth and final step is your exit strategy. This is where you pay attention to the lines before you leave the dock. And with all of that out the way, now comes the fun part, and it's time to go boating.
The Mercury 300 outboards that run this boat combined for a total of 600 horsepower with 4.6 liter engines. These give her a cruise speed of 21 knots and a top speed of around 34 knots. Non-skid covers the transom and virtually any area where you're going to be walking. This assures safe passage when stepping on and off the dock and making your way forward to the bow. On the starboard aft corner, you'll see that the 36 is equipped with a swim ladder and a shower. And these are right next to a large sun pad with cup holders on either side, a great way to take in the day's journey. As we've already shown, the sun pad raises up electrically to reveal the mechanical space where you find your generator and batteries. Next, let's take a look at the open-air galley found on the starboard side. Here we find a Kenyan electric grill, a sink, and refrigeration below. Continuing forward brings us to more lounging and seating spaces, starting with this L-shaped settee on the starboard side. Looking opposite to port is a U-shaped dinette with an expandable teak table. Just forward of the port side dinette is a comfortable bench seat for anyone looking to join the captain, Between this and the helm seating, 4 adults can face forward sitting side by side. Now I'm going to hand it back over to Grant so he can give you impressions on running the boat and a breakdown of the navigation setup.
One of the things that I'm liking about this steering system with the Mercury Verados is that it's a fly-by-wire and not the old traditional system with the cables. And the steering feels so much easier. It feels like power steering because I don't need to turn the wheel much. I do one complete turn and the boat's already starting to move. Another thing I like about this boat is the joystick. With the joystick it really does allow a beginner to climb on board and dock the boat. If you're going to walk the boat sideways, the way it does it without having a bow thruster is the engines actually work independently of each other. And if you look at them, you'll see when you're walking sideways, they will turn in opposite directions in order to walk the bow over as well as the stern. And here at the helm we have 2 Garmin multifunctional touchscreen displays where you can access your charts, you can access your video screen, infrared camera if you have that, engine display. Outboard of the touchscreen displays you have your link code trim tabs, and just below you have the Mercury engine display where you can keep a check on your engine readings, your fuel readings. On either side of the engine display is your levers and your VHF radio. And the last thing is this DC switch panel where you have functions to all your ship's DC services like your horn, your lights, bilge pumps, and of course your sunroof.
In addition to the surprisingly large convertible sunroof, we find LED lighting overhead, as well as speakers that are part of a Fusion sound system. When the sunroof is closed, your guests can be comfortable because this area is outfitted with air conditioning. From here, let's continue forward on the port side and make our way down into the salon. Stepping inside, you'll see that there's a comfortable seating area and table that makes up the salon's dinette. Directly above this is a row of overhead storage. And then, looking aft by the entrance is the boat's electrical panel and her battery switches, something that Grant already highlighted.
Trip to shore power.
Below these panels, we see that the GT36 is equipped with an independent AC control for the salon, Fusion stereo control, and USB plugs, which you can never have enough of. Looking to starboard, we see a galley that's equipped with a stainless sink, 2-burner electric cooktop, microwave, and a whole side window. Immediately aft of the galley is the day head. In here we find a vanity, Jabsco head, and a large shower stall. Next, let's take a look at the first of 2 cabins, the first of which is found aft. This full beam cabin has whole side windows and storage to either side, and standing room in the forward section. Forward of the salon, on the other side of a door, is the owner's cabin with a centerline berth. And like the last stateroom, in here we find whole side windows as well as storage on both sides of the berth. At the head of the bed is a skylight that opens up onto the bow. The foredeck of the GT36 can be accessed on port and starboard. A substantial stainless handrail leads all the way forward, one that's meant to be used and assures that you feel safe. Once you've made your way onto the bow, you see that the primary feature up here is a sun pad with headrests. In this area, we also find speakers as well as a place to put your drinks and small things like your phone or sunscreen. And then finally, at the foot of the sun pad, we arrive at the ground tackle, which is made up of an anchor locker, a windlass, chain, and anchor. On behalf of the Denison team, Grant Ninneman, and myself, Ryan Alexander, thank you for joining us on today's walkthrough of the 2020 GT36. If you have any questions about the boat or if you'd like to see her in person, you can reach out to Grant anytime.